All right, back here with you. And again, let me recap the setups we're going to be looking for this week. Very important. This is going to be this is the formula for success right here. If you could just hang on and let the market form, it'll tell you when it's going to make the big pivots by the divergence oscillator, the divergence signal we have. And how we could recognize that with our quad rotations, we know that we're going to have the biggest move possible. We have to really wait for it. And that's very important. So again, I want everyone to, I'm going to actually be giving you these alerts because I want to be looking at them too. We kind of discussed that how important it is to identify the bigger trend, the overall trend in the market. And then from there, we identify the smaller trends. But the important thing is identifying a channel. Once you have a channel identified, just by 3 pivots, and it could be a small, it could be a sloppy one, all right? But just anything, you're just always throwing it in there because what you're looking for is the lower portion of that channel giving us a divergence. And then whenever you see it, just a small channel with a divergence, you take that trade. Lots of times you'll find your flag set up as a nice divergence. Lots of times you'll get the downward channel here. 1, 2, 3, lower low, higher low. We already talked about how good this setup was right there. Really great setup there. Now we went over these. Let's go back, way back. Just go back to another day. I'm just going to randomly go back here. Boom, right there. Out to Tuesday, 9/3. They dropped me off in a deserted planet. All I'm looking for are divergences. I see one right here. You have the low, you have the rotation, you have the lower low, you have the low, the rotation, the higher low. And everyone people say, what triggers you, Johnny? It's the visual confirmation. Usually you're going to get a candle. You're not going to get the bottom unless you kind of start to get that experience where you put in your channels. Actually, this is how you put this channel in right here. You put in your channels. You have a 1, 2, 3 channel. It's moving out of that. Came right down there. We have a channel line touch, a higher rotation. You want to be in it before the channel breaks out. All right. Now, overall, it went back down. But I remember, this is a 1-minute time frame. Each candle is 1 minute. Very rarely we're going to be in this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-minute trades on the futures. In some cases, maybe, really strong trending days. But when the market's not giving you, it's very choppy and extended levels and overnight, you take what you get. This is a nice trade. This is a nice, reliable, high probability trade. 14.393. You take it every single time. You place your stop right underneath there. You continue. We start to look at any type of downward channel line. Now, here we have a channel here, and you want to let the channels work for you. You want to kind of see how this is like a little bit lower, but most of the candles lay there, maybe even a little bit higher, and you kind of let it just lie in there. Now we have that kind of a channel. We came back down here. We had a nice double bottom divergence right there. Double bottom divergence. That's something you always take. It doesn't happen anywhere else. And when I show you a divergence, you're going to say, oh, I see that. That's a divergence. I understand. It's not up, down, down. It's up and one goes down. It's very easy to see the divergence. It's just that you have to be in front of it. It's my job to all right, here's a divergence. Let me get on the Voxer and send that a divergence out. This is where the money is going to be made. This is where the money is going to be made. This is what I pride myself in finding, but I have to be in front of the computers a lot to do that. The bots here identify it, but they don't identify it and take in consideration everything around it. No, and it won't take, sometimes it'll miss something. But boy, right here, here we have a downward channel. I'm just downward channeling everything. I just extend that out, follow it down here. I'm just waiting. Sometimes I'll see a low and a little lip low. Maybe that might have been a spot there I wanted to take. I don't really. Here's a divergence right here. It was a nice little channel here. That one just kind of popped. It popped. Probably a hard one to get anything, in there. Now, there's a rule that we there's a rule that we use to get out of these trades, and that is the first rotation. The first rotation of 9-3 is an automatic exit strategy. So it doesn't matter if it gave you 2 ticks and you wanted 6 ticks or you wanted 8 ticks or whatever. If it gave you squat and it rotated, you get out. That is the key to success right there. That's not gambling. That's using the plan. Because if it was going to go longer, it would go longer. It would. Things would be a little bit different. This rotated up here real quickly, started rolling over. It made sense. Market started to get into another downward trend. We'd follow that. It pops. If you missed it, you just keep on looking at these channel lines like that. And you look at that low. Oh, what do you see here? Low, higher, low. You see that, right? I'm finding these for the first time with you. High, low, higher, low, higher, high. Now, if it's in a channel, when you get a divergence like this, and remember, you want it to be down by the channel, lower channel line. You want to be in this trade before it breaks out. 9 times out of 10, if you have a divergence inside of a channel, what I call recognizable channel, which is a 1, 2, 3 pattern, 9 times out of 10, your channel will be broken out of. That will be the main pivot. So all these little areas here, every little divergence we get is going to be a pivot of the bigger channel. Look at this. Got a little channel here. And here's a low, and here's a lower low, and here's a higher low. And sure enough, where does it go? Where does it go? Now, I could do this all day long, as long as we have the time. So between your success here at Day Trading Radio and it's going to require a little dedication in the markets, a little understand that you have to be in front of the market sometimes, or be available, or definitely get the alerts. That would help a lot. Actually, I have a little divergence. Oh, no divergence there. I'm just, there's only one scientific way of showing these things. And when you see them, and there's other things that we pay attention to. Like right now, a lot of traders trade in what we call the quad rotation, when all 4 stochastics get oversold and all 4 start to turn up, usually at grid levels, really nice levels. But then just like we're seeing here, let's take a look. I'll just watch, I have a channel here. I'll put a channel here. I don't even know if these broke out or not, but I'll identify that one. Then I'll have these little channels here, and that's what we start to break down. And we follow these things. Now, there's good trades up here. See how this is embedded down here, and this rotated back up to the 80. These are nice bear flags, and we know that's how it's going to drop off. When we get oversold here, quad rotation trend line. It's going to bounce back up. Got up to a trend line here, rotation, right back down. Now all we're waiting for is the divergence, and sure enough, what do I see here? Double bottom, and a lower low is the same. Double bottom sometimes is even stronger. The important is a high angle divergence. Low with this low, and this low comes down, higher low. All right, that's even almost on the 14.3, but I'm not going to talk about that yet. But that was a little divergence, and that was, off to the races. Again, boom. You're not staying in this. This is your time frame. If this is too fast for you, consider this batting practice with a ping pong ball. We're teaching you fast moves, but you could stretch this out to any time frame and feel more comfortable on a 5-minute time frame. Take the same setups, where you might get, these are 1-minute time charts. So every candle, you're getting setups here. But with a 5 minutes, it's going to be less candles in the day. You're going to have less setups, and you're going to have to accept that. But your setups probably will be a little bit more high probability. More high. They'll be more profitable in value, because you'll probably be in it longer. And the trends, 5 minutes are usually based off of these bigger trends. The 1 minutes are these inside trends. So it's always good to have a quad rotation, which means everything's oversold and you have a divergence, and that usually is a pivot of the big channel. If you have a quad rotation and a divergence, that is our ultimate super signal. And that usually is in an area of a big pivot. So a big major pivot is usually where we have super signals. Here we have the move down. We have the super signal kind of right in here. And then that was the move back up. And look at this. I mean, the market here, this is pretty organized. Excuse me. Let me get rid of that. Sometimes it's hard to just kind of gauge where you want to jump in on these things, and you don't. You want to wait for. Do you guys see it? I mean, you see that low? You see the higher low right there. The higher low right there. That little sneaky candle. Double top, major divergence top there. Bookend divergences. Here you had another channel line, right? So what are we looking? Upward channels, we're looking at the highs, and the higher highs are double tops. Here we have a high and a double top, a high and a much weaker stochastic rollover. That stochastic rollover is what we mean when we do this. All right, the energy of that rocket, the energy of the momentum of that trade, is dying out. And the price goes up a little bit higher, but the engine drops out beforehand. It starts to rotate, and we start to see that with the stochastics. The stochastics, these will be the stochastics, the red line, and you can see that on the second lower low. So here's the stochastics right here. It started to turn over, yet the price continued to move a little bit higher before rolling over. So this died out before the price did. And that's how that's the beauty of stochastics. Now you add them all together, what you have is something that it works almost near perfect. But most people can't do it. All right? You're not going to be able to do it. Unless you're, you kind of understand, and you start to conquer yourself. You got to conquer yourself. You got to believe there is a way to do this. But the market's like a casino, there's so many opportunities there. If you have a low and a low and a lower low, and you have a higher low, I don't care what's going on. Give me a freaking break. You're going to do this. Anyway, you got to be professional. You got to be patient. You got to have these alerts. This is the greatest advertisement for the Futures Trade Alert Network anyway. If you want to get these alerts to the HPS setups, if you're a member of Day Trading Radio, you already get them. Paying members of Day Trading Radio already get these alerts. That means if you're not going to miss any. You're not going to miss an HPS alert, or not miss too many. If you're not a member of Day Trading Radio, you could go to the Patreon site. It's an incredible deal. It's $20 a month for those alerts. You get added on to the stream. When I see the alert, I talk to the phone. It comes across your phone as a walkie-talkie. It's instantaneous, and you're able to be on that trade in a matter of seconds if you wanted to. All right? That's that. That's the it's a little plug for that, because I love that. I love the opportunity. I know what you need in the markets. I know that the market's going to be so hard, and you're not going to be able to do this without, just to be in front of it. All right, that's the Futures Trade Alert Network. You could scan that little button, scan that if you want it. Again, this is the ones that I'm sending out. And again, if you're a member of Day Trading Radio, you already get that. Let's jump up to the markets right now. And anywhere we go, and I see a divergence on the 5-minute time frame, and you might be getting this for the first time. You might be new to Day Trading Radio, and you're not familiar with this. That's why it's important just to become a member and immerse yourself with us. You will pick it up as you go along. Ask me questions. There's a tremendous amount of resources. And and just remember, we're just looking for one certain thing. Now, in some cases, you don't have the divergence, and that's like if I had a new trader in trading, I say, you just Mr. Miyagi. wax on, wax off. Just do that. Just wax on and wax off this market. Let's not get fancy or anything. Yeah, the technique is that, so you wait for a channel line. You wait for that channel line to come down. What do you have to go along with that channel? Do you have a divergence? No. Do you have a quad rotation? Yes, you do. You actually kind of have that. It's right at 20, you're close. So there is a reason to look at this as a trade opportunity here. Here's one back over here too, a nice quad rotation. A quad rotation is that 5-minute time frame, slowly rotating back down, moving back up. Again, more about the 5-minute rotation. You'll learn about that. That's very important. This is very important. This is a closing price divergence. We don't count the tails. Don't count the tail. Closing price divergence. That closing price and this closing price. This is lower. This is higher. That's a quad rotation. It's going to go. And it went. And I remember that trade too. And then we had another divergence here. Holy crap, this is right at the end of the day. Can't help that. Boom, big shot up there. The divergence into the 350 murder algo. Talk about, a perfect combination. 350 murder algo and a divergence. Big move. 15 point moves. Now we zoom out and we see these little blue lines in these channels, and you say, all right, that makes like a logical place to trade. This makes a logical place to trade. Does this make a logical place to trade going long here? No. Why would you? You have to have a reason for every single one of your trades. Have a logical reason, not I think we're going higher type of reason. Again, I'm telling you, you might think you could call the market. Market will humble you pretty fast. This is a nice 14.3 divergence. A higher 14.3. This is one of my secret setups here. The 14.3 when it's higher than the 9.3 is actually a great signal. It's stronger than a 9.3 14.3. 14.3 better, higher divergence than the 9.3 is stronger. It's a strong setup. And again, everything has a channel to it, right? Everything has a channel. Channel, first of all, we want to see that lower channel line. Get closer to that, the better it is with a divergence. And we also understand that the channel with the pivot on the top pivot area, again, 1, 2, 3, we put that trend line right there. 9 times out of 10, a divergence in the channel will break us out of the channel and give us a much bigger pivot area. So, again, it's not that hard. That's a 14.3. The hard part is being here 12 o'clock midnight to take that. But we're here right now. So every example I could go over, I will. You'll get this. It's just that you have to get yourself. Understand your weaknesses and then try to conquer those. Big shout out to Kirk. Kirk out there. I had a meeting with him the other day. He was really on top of his stuff. He's writing out his business plan. I was very proud of him. He was writing out his business plan. He had, he realized his weaknesses. He wrote everything out. He started to come around. He showed me he showed me everything, his charts and stuff. He knew exactly what he was looking at. He knew the mistakes he made, and accepting that is great. Accepting those, accepting that, it was really good. I don't know if he's out there. It looks like a rock bot set up here in the background. The bots are always here to help you too.
Order submitted.
We got a rock bot.
Order filled.
Got a rock bot. What's called a Momo trade right here. Momo trade is a script that takes all 4 stochastics while they're turning up. You see how they're all turning up. So we tend to get, especially the 5-minute time frame is on our side and stuff. We'd like that. Now, that was the latest script I've been working on. I've been getting good results on it, but I'm still, I want to just follow it. I'm testing it out. I do find some issues with it, in trending markets, but of course you really want to just take the trending market and the parameters. It's very important to set your parameters. Parameters are where you want to put your trailing stops, where your profits are going to be, and how much, when you're going to be trading something like this. Because if you're not trading, with a lot of volatility, it gets choppy. let me get to the end here. I want to send this. I want to close down this video. I messed it up. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm going to trade with you guys now for a bit and get set up for tomorrow. Actually, look at a few stocks next coming out. Have a good evening, everyone. See you in the markets.